welcome to another video. In this video we are going to be talking about the Emperor of Mankind and should we get a miniature on the tabletop. And it's one of those subjects that is very, very, very Marmite. You're either for an Emperor miniature or against an Emperor miniature. And it's a pretty cool topic, and I thought, you know what, let's do a video on it. So if you do like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel. Help me get that 84% of viewers that are unsubscribed down, and help me move towards my goal of 3,500 subscribers this year. So grab a brew and let's get in and talk about the Emperor of Mankind and should he get a miniature on the tabletop. So this is an interesting topic and one that definitely needs to be talked about. Should we get it? Are you in the for getting an Emperor miniature, or are you against getting the Emperor miniature? I personally are all for it, and definitely from a painting perspective it would be really, really kind of cool to see the Emperor on the tabletop. But I can understand how some people are a little bit skeptical and they don't really want to see it, and I get the whole sort of that they view him as sort of like this background character that's shrouded in mystery. So I understand that. And I was watching a Cult of Paint. Big shout out to the Andy, and well done for getting a Golden Demon. Congratulations, Andy. They were talking about it, and it was funny to see the four of them split. Like, two of them were very much for it and two of them were very much against it. And I think that's the kind of sort of, the Emperor sort of brings that sort of divide quite quickly. You know, you are either very much for him coming in or very much against it. But back in first edition, I was at one of the very early games days. It was pretty much just after the first Black Book had come out, and they were talking about the character series and how the character series was going to be 20 models in total. That obviously includes 18 Primarchs and then 2 others, and those 2 others were Valdo and the Emperor. And then in the Talons of the Emperor army list, there was a little box that talked about the HQs, and the Emperor of Mankind was listed there. So there was clearly a design idea to have that, because obviously Horus and the Emperor have a slapdown at the end of the Siege of Terra, which is no real spoilers. It's kind of like, you know, 40k canon that this fight has to happen, like Sanguinius, you know, it was always going to happen. And now that the series is finished, and that we've got the Beta Garmin campaign book, it's very obvious that at some stage in the very, very future that we will get a set of campaign books for the Horus Heresy set on the Siege of Terra and covering the Siege of Terra in all of its glory. And at some point we're going to need a miniature that is going to be able to fight against Horus Ascended. That's right, the absolute 1,000 point beast of a miniature and unit. Now, Horus Ascended is pretty powerful, and to get him on the tabletop, you're essentially having to play a 4,000 point game. So I can see from a gaming point that you're only really going to be able to bring something like the Emperor for the Loyalist side to a 4,000 point game. I completely understand that. And that would be the only really way of doing it. So you know, for anyone who's like, no, he'll be too powerful, you know, he'll just one-shot things. Yes and no, but you know, you're playing 4,000 points. So you're at that stage, you're pretty much bringing all of your toys and some, and at least the quarter of your army is going to be coming in his sort of model. But from a painting perspective, there is definitely that coolness factor of actually be able to own a miniature of the Emperor and be able to paint the Emperor. I mean, we've got kind of parts of him already in 40k. Guilliman is carrying his sword, that famous iconic fiery sword, the sword of the Emperor. Lionel Johnson is carrying the shield of the Emperor's shield, although I've never seen any artwork or mention of this shield, so it's kind of cool to see. Like, if like Lehman Russ could come back, and probably will have another artifact from the Emperor, and I'm sure the others will also have the artifacts from the Emperor. So we're seeing parts of him in 40k, and obviously in 40k he's very much in the background. The sort of mystic side of the Emperor is very much there in 40k, but in Warhammer 30k he's very much at the forefront of the fight. kind of directing things, especially for the siege. You know, once we get into the sort of end game of the siege, they go to get Horus, you know, he spearheads that assault himself. So, you know, to play those games, to have that confrontation between Horus and the Emperor, you're going to need 2 miniatures. So, you know, I get that. But I can understand for the people that don't want to see this, and that it would shatter the illusion of the Emperor. And I completely get that. And for all the 40k players, and you know, it would be really funny to see an Emperor of Mankind miniature, and then all of the 40k players like instantly get on social media going, will he get rules for Warhammer 40k? And for everyone just to go, no, because like, you know, he's not on a seat, and he's not dead, near dead. He's not a corpse. Like, stop. So I can completely get that. But yes, but all jokes aside, I can see and understand the negativity towards a miniature for the Emperor. I get it. It would shatter that illusion. He is such an iconic character for the setting. You know, everybody remembers reading the older rule books where you have that little blurb about the Horus Heresy, those 2 paragraphs, and like very little sort of talked about him. The weird John Blanche black and white sketch of a corpse on a throne in the Rogue Trader rulebook. We've all grew up with those sort of symbols of the Emperor, and it would kind of be, you know, a bit weird to see him on the tabletop in a miniature form. But you know, but how cool would it be? An actual miniature of the Emperor. It would be really good. For a painting project, 100%, I would be all over that. For a gaming project, and for a gaming piece, well, as I play Iron Warriors, it doesn't really affect me, but I would definitely have to face him. And could Perturabo and 45 Siege Tyrant really take him down? Well, we do not know, because, you know, we can only speculate on what kind of rules the Emperor could have. But we can get a good rough idea by looking at Horus Ascended and at least looking at the benchmark for what he is. And obviously there are certain things in the new sort of story now, and now it's all fleshed out and finished in the series, the novel series, and we kind of know why he isn't like godlike during that fight. I'm not really going to go into it because that would be spoilers, but let's just put it this way. It's pretty cool, and if you do want to sort of listen to it, check out Chapter Master Valrak. He has a sort of series of videos on the Dark King and the ramifications for it. So yeah, big shout out to Valrak. But yes, 100%, I am all for the Emperor getting a miniature. But if you aren't, let me know in the comments and we can have a chat about it down there. This is just a fun topic, you know. It's obviously going to happen. There's no rumours that this is happening anytime soon, so don't think that this is what this video is. This is just me having a little bit of fun. There is definitely precedent, and this is definitely going to happen. We're definitely going to get Siege of Terra campaign books, and at some point during that Siege of Terra campaign book, we are going to get rules. We're going to get a model for the Emperor of Mankind, and the internet is going to go wild. There will be anger, there'll be salt, there'll be frustration, there'll be giggles, and there'll be bedwetting of excited nerds because the Emperor is coming, and it's going to happen, and I am all there for it. And I'm sure my friend Matt, who has Horus Ascended, will very much look forward to the first game where he can field Horus versus the Emperor on the tabletop for the ultimate slapdown. It's going to be a glorious game, and I'm all here for that. But if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. The subscribing part is the most important. Not really interested in you jumping into the members area of the Patreon, although, you know, very much appreciate it if you do. But hitting that subscribe button, it's free, doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out massively, because my goal is to get my percentage viewed down from 84% of unsubscribed viewers. Please subscribe, and get my personal goal of hitting 3,500 subscribers this year. So thank you very much for everybody who has watched the video and staying here, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye for now, peeps.